Hello and welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. I'm your host, the whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black Minds News. Black Minds News is to report, articulate, transmit, communicate, insinuate, develop, investigate, unveil, decode, spread the news, whether by news, video, websites, or quotes from publications. As I articulate these information, I accept the creator of the universe be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit. Because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this place that we call the United States, we, the foundational black Americans, the bloodline, the historical lineage, the historical people known as slaves, we who call ourselves BADOH, which is Black American descendant of slaves. Others say Black African descendant of slaves. Others say ADOS, which is American descendant of slaves. We, the today children, offspring, and present generation, we give honor to our ancestors. And you know what the motto of my show is? I'm never going to tell you what I heard. I'm only going to tell you what I know. Again, today's date is August 14, 2019. And I said I wanted to lighten it up a little bit and do something that maybe sometime you might have thought about. You know, again, we come out of certain places, went through certain parts of history. And anything when it had to do with our hair has always been a struggle for many, and some of us have embraced it, just a part of who we is. But there's those who have struggled and hot combed and lied, fried, dyed, and laid it to the side. But you ever understand what the term this nappy that we used to use? Ooh, nappy head. I had a teacher in grade school one time I know she was the most self-hating Negro I ever met in my life. Even as a kid, I knew that. Sometimes she would get in the class, sometimes, oh, this little nappy head. And she is like she ain't one of us, right? So I always wonder, where the hell did this term nappy come from? Guess what? Somebody did an article on it, said some things in it. And I decided that I want to present it to you today. So just stay tuned as Black Minds News delve into the term nappy. Stay tuned for this broadcast. Hey, how's y'all doing, everybody? Again, this is your host, Mr. Blows Your Mind. Today's date is August 14, 2019. First and foremost, I want to say what's good to my family, subscribers, old and new. Welcome for another news report, my Black Minds News, and we want to thank you first and foremost for your participation. Passerbys, if you should happen to pass by, your GPS of your search engine or somehow got you over here to the most hidden, tucked away show on the black corner of the internet. Let me ask why they say this is the most hated show on the black corner of the internet. We had to get 275,000 views, 50,000, 30,000, 20,000, and so forth. This day in 2019, after being in the business for 7 years, can't get past 100. What is it that we do over here that other channels get their numbers off, but somehow reason we don't get ours? We're suppressed. But I got a video one day. I'm going to show you some things and try to show you how they suppress it. But glad you over here. Go down the aisle, see something. You might just see something that might rub you in the wrong way, make you feel some kind of way. Remember that the motto of the show is the truth don't need no partner. So So, let me go ahead and get into this here, right? This here is kind of like, one of them things, right? Sometimes you just got, again, it's kind of some information you should know, right? And again, sometimes we got sisters and they're like, everything you do is kind of always male driven. I got love for my sisters as well, right? So, let me see how I'm going to do this first. Let me go ahead and give you the image of this, right? Let me go ahead. This is the article right here, right? So let me go ahead and give you the article right quick. And we'll go from there. So it says the racial roots behind the term nappy. The racial roots behind the term nappy. So nappy, we were using it, think about it as black folks, right? But there was a racial term to it. So according to this article here is going to espouse a little bit about that. And so just sit back for a quick second here. Let me go ahead and read this to you. So it starts off and says, a black man walks into my barbershop on Manhattan Lower East Side and removes his hat, revealing hair that is thick and tightly coiled. There's unusually a hum of hair clippers buzzing through the loud bachata music in the shop. But the moment the man walks through the heavy glass doors, a silence seems to fall to place. Este muchacho tiene pelo malo? One of the barbers say to the other, shaking his head. But in English, the barber doesn't tell the man his hair is bad, malo. Instead, he says, your hair, it's, nappy, yes? Translation of English words into other languages often unveils some interesting layers of meaning. The translation the barber chose for nappy was malo, M-A-L-O. The two terms were synonymous, used to describe the hair textures of millions of people of African descent. Some question rose in my head. Where does the term nappy come from, and why does it have such negative connotation? It is possible to reclaim a word that has been used as a slur for so long. Turns out the origins of the terms are complex. Nappy history is tangled up in the arrival of the first slave ship on the coastlines of the Americas in the 1700s. The likely origin of the term is the word nap, which was used to describe the frizzled thread raising from a piece of fabric. There's a lot of speculation that nap was redefined as a disparaging phrase for the coils and kinks in the hair of African enslaved. In connection with the fields of cotton that drove the colonial economy. There's also a largely discredited theory out there that the term comes from the British use of nappy to describe a diaper or someone dirty or unruly. Hair texture was one of the many rationalizations of the perceived subhuman status of the African. According to Silvio Torres Celant, professor of humanities at Syracuse University, he says the focus on hair became, and European tried to rationalize their dominance and superiority. The argument was based on the phenotype, such as Torres Celant, and that included the skin color, their build, their height, and especially included their hair. Those negative associations have endured for centuries. In 1998, white New York City school teacher Ruth Sherman received tremendous backlash after signing Nappy Hair, a book by Clavia Heron focused on cultivating positive feelings about nappy hair in young children. One of the parents was not pleased, according to an investigation launched by the New York City Department of Education, because of the belief that the phrase nappy hair was a racial slur. The debate resulted in a firestorm of calls to have Sherman fired. Sherman had what she considered to be viable death threats against her, says Nolie Rooks, author of Hair Raising Beauty, Culture and the African American Woman. All because she was trying to teach little kids, many of which were African descent, that nappy could be seen as positive. Rook said that when she first heard about the controversy, she was sure that it was centered on the misconception that Sherman, a white woman, was basically racially insensitive. But Rook said the parents weren't accusing Sherman of discrimination. Rather, they confronted her for framing nappy hair as a positive. You start to hear that the parents were like, why would you be trying to tell my child that her hair, nappy hair, is a good thing? Rook said. I found that fascinating. Nearly a decade later, in 2007, nappy was once again thrown into the national spotlight after radio host Don Imus used the term nappy-headed hoes in reference to the Rutgers women's basketball team. The backlash was immediate. Calls for Imus to be taken off the air began to flood in. Days later, Imus appeared as a guest on the activist Al Sharpton's show in an attempt to address the criticism. Imus said that he had used the phrase without an understanding that nappy was a racial slur. Whether he saw holes as offensive is another story. Sharpton wasn't buying it. Nappy, Sharpton said, is racial. About a week after the original comment, CBS Radio canceled Imus in the morning indefinitely, calling Imus' use of the phrase racially damaging. I wanted to know whether there could ever be more to nappy than the racist rant of a talk show host. So I called up Zine Maguban, who is an associate sociologist professor at Boston College. I asked her whether there was a context where the term nappy could be used in a non-offensive manner. Her response was blunt. No. Certain social movements have changed the meaning of what any word is supposed to describe. Mangubang said, so slut, for example, we have had enough of a female revolution so that the idea that a woman must be chaste is mostly gone. But, she says, neither the culture nor the context has undergone a change significant enough for nappy to get the same treatment. Nappy will only cease to be offensive when the racism in society that makes certain physical characteristics to be set aside for ridicule goes away, she said. The context in which the word is deployed does not suggest that a similar reclaiming is on the horizon. Still, it felt like in some spaces a reclamation was already taking place. I called up Trisha R. Thomas, author of the book Nappily Ever After, which inspired the Netflix hit of the same name. I wrote Nappily with the goal of putting the term in a new light, Thomas explained. I can't tell you how many letters and emails I've gotten from people in different countries all around the world about how nappily changed their lives. But she said the feedback wasn't all positive. I remember when nappy hair came out and the controversy and the anger that was felt, and it was frightening, Thomas said. I wasn't even going to call my book Nappily Ever After. I had about 5 other titles ready to go. It was that bad. But after some thought, Thomas decided to push forward. I told my editor that the term was hitting the core of what this story is about, reclaiming who we are and not being afraid, Thomas said. I knew it may be causing a little stir, but I knew I had to resist the fear and do what I thought was right. A little stir turned out to be an underestimate. There was so much resistance. I had someone throw copies of my book at me. Thomas said they threw Nappy Ever After, my own book, and told me I had no right to use that word. I asked Thomas, in an age where many groups are proudly reclaiming the term used to pin them down, but she thinks that her attempt to reclaim Nappy had been successful. Was there any hope for the word moving forward? If you would have asked me this when I wrote the book in 2000, I would have told you, yes, there's hope, Thomas said, but I just don't think so anymore. There's a group damaged by the word hurtful connotations whose pain will never go away. I saw the depths of their hurt, and it was painful to even witness. At this point, I accepted that it is always going to be a triggering word, Thomas said. Always. Okay, so that there's the article talking about the racial roots behind the term nappy, right? And so in this day of 2019, right, let me go ahead and show this because, again, this is correlating to it because we have to look at this. Now, I'm going to show you maybe back to back or two stories of that. Maybe, can I do that? Yeah, I could do that, right? I could do that, right? Okay, so let me show this. Again, I had already originally did this when it broke, but due to the simple fact that I'm doing this article, I want to show you this again to let you see. So check this out. Be right back. Always coming right back. We coming right back? No. Try it again. Wow, what's going on? Wow, what's going on? Okay, try it again. All right, let's do it this way.
At Harlem Natural Hair Salon, clients there are talking about a groundbreaking new law in New York City, banning discrimination based on natural hairstyles, like cornrows, braids, afros, and other styles most frequently worn by Black people.
Shocking that in 2019, we should need to have a law that protects me from being discriminated against for wearing my hair the way it grows out of my head.
It's a nationwide issue. In Florida last year, a 6-year-old boy was sent home from school for wearing dreadlocks, his father pleading with staff.
The hair is at their shoulders. What's the difference?
In New Jersey, outrage after a high school wrestler was told to cut his dreadlocks or forfeit the match. And in Westchester, New York, Destiny Tompkins quit her retail job after her boss criticized her braids.
He told me that my hair looked very unkempt and it was too urban for their image, and that if I didn't take it out, then I wouldn't be scheduled for shifts.
In a statement to NBC News, Destiny's employer, The Gap, said the manager was fired and they have zero tolerance for discrimination. Meanwhile, the ACLU says it's seeing an increase in complaints from victims across the country.
It's only Black people who are punished when they choose to wear their hair in their natural texture.
Back at the salon,
our hair has nothing to do with our job performance.
Some relief that the nation's largest city is now providing protection for how people wear their hair. Rahima Ellis, NBC News, New York.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking.
Inside Mixed Institute of Cosmetology, this is the classroom for aspiring barbers and hairstylists.
I've been doing hair my whole life. I do braids. I love dyeing.
Dear Shepard is among those learning the trade, a cosmetologist throwing her support behind Senate Bill 188.
It's very important, especially for our Black women and Black men. For us to embrace our hair is very important.
State law currently provides equal rights and opportunities for all people based on a number of specified characteristics, including race. But this bill takes it a step further by including traits historically associated with race, like hair texture.
We've heard far too many stories of young people being sent home from school because their hair was deemed unruly or a distraction to others, or employees who were not hired, who were asked to change their hair in order to maintain their employment, or didn't receive promotions.
Los Angeles area Senator Holly Mitchell, who wears her own hair naturally, authored this bill.
We've said that the time has come to judge me based on my capacity to do the work, not how I choose to wear my hair.
The bill's unanimous support in the Senate, applauded by barber Darrell Coylton Jr., who's felt the pressure to change his appearance while hunting for a job.
I would have to maybe like cut it or maybe clean it up, you know what I'm saying? So that's probably why for the longest time I had short hair.
And for many, there's purpose in the style to protect hair as it grows, something Dier is doing now.
I'm going through the process. That's why I actually have my hair in braids right now. I cut it, I put it up, take it out, cut it again, put it up, just to go through the growing process that it needs to go through.
Senate Bill 188 now on its way to the Assembly to potentially broaden protections for Californians.
All right. So, again, gave you some visual, and you heard some of the brothers and sisters giving some of their insight about, and some of the stories that go along with how is it that a people who are their own people. Now, again, we know history. We understand how we got in this position. But how is it other people, when they view us, they don't recognize you as your own? It's like, like when you remember watching Roots, and Sandy Duncan had Kizzy as a little plaything, right? Right? She could do whatever she want with Kizzy, right? She owned Kizzy. Yeah, she was just the same age as her, right? And, touching her hair and, right? And so here it was a people who, again, just get up and just shake, right? Can just shake and just go on about their long hair and it's all good. That made us feel some kind of way by indoctrinating at us during the time of our enslavement. I mean, we still in it the way I look at it, right? And inculcated something of a negative connotation to make you feel bad, to the fact that through our whole encounter here, we've always been, whether primarily more as females than males, especially more the modern time, because, other than the fact that we're going in the 60s and 70s when the afros, right? Just man, you couldn't even wear afro and certain type of jobs, right? Couldn't do the afros either. So now it's dreadlocks and so forth. Now that you had to pass a bill, a law. So you just think about that. You got to pass a damn law in order for you to recognize the difference between who you are as whatever ethnicity you are, and primarily we're going to have to say Caucasian because we're talking about working and being in school. This is their institutions, right? Yes, you may be employed there. That might be your profession, but you ain't got no power. You might even be a principal, right? And even if that being said, but I'm just saying they talked about, it's too urban. Well, what does that even mean? Too urban? What is that? Too black? Yeah, it's too black. Yeah, you come in here. We don't want to look like we're too, urban because we have a lot of white patrons, and they may feel a little uncomfortable. Your hair look like it's not really unkept. It's like you got twigs and spiders. And wait a minute, I'm me. You remember that episode that y'all seen in the Sanford and Son when Lamont became Kalunda? And he kept telling Fred, he said, you, and I, and that's why I love you, right? What's wrong with these folks when they look at you in that song? They couldn't, Can't you see I'm different? Look at my texture. Look at my color. Look at my structure. You understand? So what's in the sickness of psychosis of these individuals felt like your hair need to be like my hair? I'm different. I'm not you. And so here it was, by inculcating that kind of mentality on us, we were putting wheel grease, taking the hot, hot iron, pressing the hair, conking the hair, lying the hair. You understand? We did a whole lot of things. And based on that was just showing the creativity, the godness that resides in us, that even in them states, you know what I'm saying, taking nothing out of something, making lemon into lemonades. Here you is oppressing me about something that is natural to me. You made me feel guilty about what something that the Creator gave me that in time, now you wish you had, right? Now, all that we went through just taught us more ways how to be creative with our hair, to the fact that now when you see it, you're just seeing some of the most creative designs and colors, and you understand? Just like a peacock. You never know when a brother or a sister is ready to do their hair. They might want waves. They may want it bald. They might want it in a fro. They want it in braids with different kinds of ways of braiding it. They might put some color in it. You understand? Everybody can't do that. And even there are some people who may be up in the family, but they still can't do what you do, right? And so after all that we've been through, all that they had made us feel, now you can be very proud about who you are now, because they want to do it. Matter of fact, they even selling stuff now these days that they got fake hair you can put in there, right? And you were seeing other peoples of other ethnicities trying to get fades. Some they was going to get the dreadlocks, right? Everything you do, right? Matter of fact, that's what the brother said in the Mac. He said, we doing our own thing. We doing our own thing. He said, when we fluff our hair and they try to fluff ours, we braid ours. And then when they start braiding our hair, you understand? He said, changing up. We are original. We are doing our own thing, right? We don't have to emulate you. So what you did is it's kind of like saying you got grass. What they want to do is teach you how to kill your grass. Put weeds in your damn grass. If you want your grass to be laid down and brown like mine, put this stuff in it. Put this weed, put this grass killer in there, and guess what? Lo and behold, because of the prolonged use that some of our sisters have been using, some of them don't have the hair anymore because of what the chemicals have done, soaked in the head, maybe even cause some, psychosis. That's something, again, in time will be revealed. See, all them years of putting that stuff, them chemicals in your hair to make it so that you can go to work and be presentable under a standard that was already foreign to you, just to make this person feel like they feel good to see you like that. And can you imagine that sisters was, having sisters, always having sisters, right? And sister go get her hair done on Friday, so we might go out or something like that. And all weekend she trying not to, keep her head on that pillow because she don't want to mess up a do. She got to get that through all the way for the week too. So let the job see it too, right? That's why they say sisters didn't swim, because they again pay too much in there. What? Killing your damn hair. Your hair just a straight fried, dyed, and laid it to the side because it was dying, right? Your hair is like antennas, right? You're getting the emittance from the Creator down, sending you some spiritual insight. But as long as your hair was down, lied, and fried, and laid to the side, you couldn't pick up. And so during that time that we were going through all this, what done happened? It messed up a lot of the relationships, right? See, that antenna was downwards. So you was only picking up the bullshit from the motherfucker who's sending the shit up. You couldn't get from what the Creator was giving you. And so we failed to have the greatest relationship because, again, somebody was always having you in a state of feeling inept, not quite, on par. Had you reading magazines, looking at image, talking about this one here, Miss 6 o'clock, straight up, straight down. This is what you want. Got to the point. Some of you probably not remember. I remember that this shit got so deep to the fact that sister used to be embarrassed to have an ass. Used to wear sweaters to tie around their ass because they was ashamed to show their damn ass. Like, what the hell is this? Baby, don't you know you've been blessed? You don't want to have nobody looking at you. What? Yeah, you want to, huh? Let me tell you something. Some of y'all might know. Boy, let me tell you, boy, about them sisters in the 70s. Oh, my God. I had to go on Soul Train a little bit, you can see that, but I'm just talking about if he was there during the time. Sisters, hairs, afro, puffs, all, man, you never seen the two sisters look the same. The uniqueness and how beautiful sisters look when they, oh, what? Now, I'm not saying sisters not beautiful today. I'm just saying that there's something about your naturalness, something about the beauty of when you, again, allow it to be manifest of what the Creator has given you and specifically for you. Each one of us have different textures, different ways, and can do certain things that other people cannot do. The uniqueness in each and every one of us. So even come to the men, right? Men learn to brush their hair, get the waves. I got the waves for the babes. Curls for the girls, right? We was doing all kinds of stuff. All to get to this point now where it's like, this is what it is, right? It's about time, right? That's just going to show that everything is changing for the better. That now they had to write a law to make them, again, everything dealing with us, the only way they're going to adhere to is only by law. So that must be telling us something. In the natural, just to see, look at you and I, see that we are different. There's things about me that's going to be different from you. No, you got to always be in a position that I got to tell you what to do. But when the law says, they're like, I can't do that because it's law now. That's fucking law. There's nothing we can do now. I mean, why would you sign to do something in the first damn place? They black. You hire them, they black. So shouldn't that be, part of the package when you take somebody in that everything else? I guess if they had their choice, they would have had your ass. They buy a big ass damn bleaching machine, and when they hire your ass, say, you're too dark. Are you willing to go in there and bleach your ass a little bit every day until you get to the right specs we want for the type of Negro that would represent our store, and you wouldn't be too urban? Some motherfuckers been there. Yes, I'll do that for the job. Right? You have some motherfuckers. Yes, I'll do that. Right? You know what I'm saying? I forgot there was a book I had read some time back where somebody came up with the cream. And boy, the niggas were outside lined up all around there to bleach themselves so their ass could look white. Oh, then they broke the damn distribution company, so many of them getting up in there. But here it was, all them that turned white started having babies and then was going to get white women. And then when the baby come out, the baby had Negro in it. And they were like, well, wait a minute, you're a nigger. No, you're a nigger. Not knowing that she was just like you. Bleached herself, she looked white and you doing the same damn shit. Everybody's sick. You understand? So again, here they saying that Nappy in the history talking about a dirty diaper. See, that's why you have to kind of be a wordsmith too. Because see, like I said, once in a while when I do a report, I'll take a word out of that report and then I'll give you all the different facets to it. You need to get yourself one of them cinnamon finers. They hard to find anymore. But that way you can get all the damn words, and dictionaries. You have all that stuff. Everything you try to rely on that has to do with the server. You know what I'm saying? Whoever controls the server controls the information. Books, tangibles, that will never change. So it's incumbent on you. I think you should be, if you can, because right now, the way I've been looking at, it's getting hard to get them old books. Because, Amazon is pretty much monopolizing, and there used to be plethora of all that, but now it's like they getting all that and then they putting it in, so it can't, that old information ain't out there. So if you ain't been getting it, it is what it is, right? So, I just wanted to bring this because, again, it's just kind of, tripped out, right? That they sitting here talking about that, and it depends on what country you come from. They have a term for dealing with black people in their hair. That's how negative it is against them. I just come to the realization that it's just a jealousy that you can't do what we do. When they be having those events where those cosmetology events, and you be seeing these sisters doing some of the most, magnificent things that you can see that somebody doing with damn hair. But I've never seen that with nobody else other outside than ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So you better recognize what you got and cherish what you got. And again, this is, Black Minds News for Black Love. to bring something again once in a while, just to, bring something to forefront, just in case. Again, it ain't too deep in it, but again, just something I want to say. Because again, we've been through all that. Hot combing, fry and dye, you know what I'm saying? Just doing all kinds. Matter to the fact, they get to the fact of wearing somebody else's hair. Other people making big money because they cutting their hair off and then they sell it, and then this one will take it and he'll weave it up and then he'll give it to you. Because nappy also, nap means weave. Did you know that? Yeah, that also means that too, right? Oh, did I not tell you a couple of that too? Let me give you a couple of them too, right? So again, when you say nap, I think that's like nap too, right? I think it says fuzz, fluff, surface, weave, fabric, fiber, right? So weave. So when you buying a weave, sister, you're buying nappiness because it's a weave too. So hey, that's why they say synonymous, weave and sisters go together. It's just a Conway, slick way to still selling you that shit nappy. So might as well just be proud of what just been in your head and come out your head and be proud of it. Now again, I don't know, there's not too many women on the planet that could actually wear their hair real low. Because remember back there used to be a saying, fly haircut like Anita Baker, looked up and down, said, I'll take her, right? You could do all that. You can flip it up. You can come this way, that, you know what I'm saying? You got so many different ways. Be proud. Cherish that. Again, this is coming from Black Minds News. This is your host, Mr. Blows Your Mind. Just wanted to bring something out there again for sisters, just in case they think I don't think about you. I seen something that just say, hey, here it goes. So again, describing nappy as a diaper. What? Like napkin? These people sick, right? So anyway, just wanted to bring that out to you. A little something there. So let me go ahead, let me get up out of here. Just want to bring that. I thought I did two already, right? So I want to give a little something else. So again, let me go ahead and hit the cue it up. Oh no, you got the wrong one up in there anyway, right? So let's go ahead and get up out of here. Just remember that, I guess it's safe for the brothers too. Lately, because dreads came into a fad, right? That because of so many doing it, so when the law is being written, now it applies to men as well. And, don't nothing look more fabulous than it's kind of like the lion's mane, right? When a man, no homo, right? No homo. But when a man got his shit together and looking like the lion with his mane, is it attractive women? Hey, don't get me wrong. I know there's some men out here who, again, your hair done gone. You just had them kind of jeans and your shit left early. But again, certain types of shapes of head and stuff can be bald, and you know what I'm saying? Shit, Michael Jordan made baldness for that time. You can go before then Isaac Hayes, and you can go back before the shit. I guess motherfuckers say Yul Brenner and motherfucking Telly Savalas, but again, they're them on the other side of them other uniforms, right? All right, so I scratch that. Anyway, so peace and love, yo. To the next one, man. You know what we gotta do. So I want to thank you for your participation. Remember, when you see one another, greet the brother and sister. What's good, brother? What's good, sister? Take all that goddamn hate and jealousy and envy and spite out y'all ass. Understand we is all in this, and we have to understand that this is the uniform that the team that the Creator has given us. And understand who's all playing on your team. There's nothing wrong with having allies, but ask your allies these important questions. When the shit get hot, you gonna still be my friend? You gonna still be down? Have you ever heard of John Brown? Is he real to you? Or is that just some fictitious story? So we have to keep ourselves, seek those who are trying to bring our demise, so we must stay vigilant, mindful, cautious, and high spirit. Till the days To the next show. Peace, love, shit, hair grease.